Good morning. If we can get started with our program, please. Thank you. This is a very exciting moment for El Dorado High School. It's not very often that we get the opportunity to see our history in real time. Today you're going to meet some people who have sat in these seats you're sitting in and have gone on to do wonderful things. They've been in your classes. Some of them have the same teachers you have. And it's a really high moment for us to be able to congratulate them for their achievements, because they have helped us become what we are, an outstanding high school. So this is a proud moment and one we've been looking forward to for a long time. We have to recognize the hard work of Mrs. Gross and Mr. Galati, Mr. Sweet, and the others who have worked on this program. So let's get forward with the program. Welcome.
Since it opened in 1966, El Dorado High School has been a special place for students, for leaders, for musicians, for thespians, for athletes, for anybody with a desire to succeed. Take a minute and look at the banners hanging here in the Joe Raya Gym. Think about the thrill of victory that each one represents. Then think about the dedication of the athletes who were responsible for bringing home those banners. In the history of our school, the Golden Hawks have won 22 CIF championships. We've won the California state title in wrestling. We've had 5 athletes participate on Olympic teams. We've had numerous athletes go on to compete in both college and professional ranks. We can all take great pride in those accomplishments. Today, 16 former Hawks will be introduced. They are here with their family members and friends to be honored. Before we introduce them, we'd like to tell you a little bit about the Hall of Fame itself. And here to do that is our athletic director, Mr. Carl Sweet.
Very special time for me and go back and thank all these athletes and honor them. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame. As Mr. Galati said, all of us who teach, coach, work some way with students here at El Dorado know that it's a very special place. And the question is, what makes El Dorado so special? And to me, it's a very simple thing. The thing that makes El Dorado so special is people. And it's been that way since I started. I'm sure it was that way before I started, but talking about starting with the teachers, the administrators, the coaches, the support staff, the students, and the parents. Those are all vital ingredients into the El Dorado family. That's what makes this place so special. Our staff people take a great amount of pride in performing and living their jobs and their roles. In my job, I had the opportunity to talk to a lot of alumni, a lot of these young men here today and young lady. And quite often I'm asked, hey, how's Mr. Mosley doing? How's Coach Morales doing? How's Mrs. Trumpfeller doing? Is Mr. Roy still teaching there? You know, things like that all the time. Mr. Conley, how's he doing? Mrs. Gross. And I always get fond memories related about our staff members. We got such a caring staff and take a good involvement with our students. We're all very proud of our champions, our scholars, our artists, and our leaders that have come through the doors here at El Dorado and have gone on to distinguish themselves both in college and in their personal lives. For about a year now, a group of teachers, coaches, and community members have been working on a project to reward the efforts of some of our most accomplished alumni. Today, for the first time, we are presenting to you the Golden Hawk Athletic Hall of Fame and inducting 16 people who have played major roles in establishing El Dorado's tremendous athletic heritage and tradition. We'll be presenting 12 former student athletes who not only themselves while here at El Dorado, but went on to do the same at such prominent universities as Stanford, Notre Dame, UCLA, USC, just to name a few. They're all very successful in their professional lives now as well. Some have gone on to professional sports. Our two former coaches being inducted were very, very prominent in their profession back in the 70s, back before you guys were even born. These guys were out in the trenches establishing the heritage here at El Dorado. And we owe a lot to those two people. Our two special support people laid the groundwork for the legacy of the El Dorado family. Plaques commemorating all their achievements will be on display out in the foyer of the gym. And we're having a big banquet here tomorrow night in the gym. It's been my privilege to coach or work with most of these inductees. I'm proud to call them my friends, but more importantly, I'm even prouder to consider them part of my extended family. The inductees, I salute you and your families. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Watson, and thank you, Ben. That was tremendous. As you heard Mr. Sweet say earlier, the 16 individuals that have been elected to the inaugural 1998 Hall of Fame represent different eras, different sports, and different contributions to El Dorado athletics. What they have in common is talent, perseverance, and ability to overcome obstacles, and great memories of what championship means. As we present the first half of our winners, we'll ask them to come forward. Today, we're presenting the Hall of Famers a lifetime pass to all of El Dorado's athletic events and a t-shirt to commemorate their induction. Tomorrow night at a banquet held here in the gym, they will receive a commemorative plaque. Let's begin. Our first inductee is 1972 graduate, Mr. Guy Antley. Our second presentation goes to a former Golden Hog baseball player who graduated in 1987, Brett Boone. Accepting the award for Brett is his father, Bob Boone. Our third inductee today is Mr. Bill Clark. The next two athletes that we present to you have something very special in common. They're brothers. The first one that we'll introduce to you is Mr. Chris Dressel. Chris's older brother Ken is our next inductee. But to be specific, let's introduce him as Lieutenant Colonel Dressel. Our next inductee is the first of two coaches that we are honoring in the 1998 Hall of Fame. He is Glenn Hastings, and accepting his award is his widow, Faye Hastings. Please help me welcome our next inductee, Mr. Kevin Heenan. Our next inductee is wrestler Howard Lawson. Our next inductee is 1972 graduate Mr. Tony Madu. The next person we honor is the only female inductee this year. She not only graduated from El Dorado, she's come home to El Dorado this year to teach and coach. She is Jill Matouche. The 1984 Olympic Games in Los Angeles featured one of El Dorado's graduates. He is our next inductee, Mr. John Mickinen. Our next inductee is 1976 graduate Dan Petrie, and accepting the award today for Dan is his mother, Aline. Our next inductee is our second coach, Mr. Nash Rivera. Our next inductee this morning is 1982 graduate, Mr. Craig Rutledge. Any school would be proud to have a state champion in wrestling among its students. Yet we're now going to introduce to you not only our second state champion of the morning, but he's also the second Golden Hawk who won 2 state wrestling titles. He is Mr. Todd Tomaszek. Our last inductee for the day is certainly someone whose name many of you will recognize. He is Mr. Joe Raya. How about one more round of applause now for all of our inductees? At one time or another, everyone is faced in life with an obstacle to overcome. Some are more obvious and visible than others. In the case of our last guest, it was very visible. You see, he was born with a birthmark that covered his entire face. Faced with a future of insults and stares, he underwent 7 operations before finally stopping the doctor saying, "Enough is enough. I am who I am." And who was he? He was El Dorado's 1989 Athlete of the Year, earning all league honors in football, basketball, and baseball. He led the Golden Hawk baseball team to a CIF championship by stealing home at Dodger Stadium. He was an All-American baseball player at UC Berkeley, and yes, his story does have a happy ending. This year, the kid who was called Dirty Face and Scarface fulfilled his boyhood dream by returning to Dodger Stadium as an outfielder for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Let's give a Golden Hawk welcome to one of our own, Dodger outfielder Matt Luke.
overcoming the adversity of my life. I was born with a birthmark that covered half my face. It's like a hairy mole type birthmark that, as I got older, it got darker and more defined. What you see now are the scars from that surgery. And what I did to overcome the adversity and the abuse as a child was I also constructed my own PhD program, PhD. My P stands for persecution. Growing up, I was called names, I was stared at, I was mocked, I was looked at, very hurtful things. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I made a decision in my life. And that decision was to stop letting other people and their thoughts determine my happiness. And I woke up and I started creating my own happiness. And what that did was once I started believing in myself, others started seeing me as I perceived myself. So all my friends, everyone I met now saw not some scared little kid that was embarrassed about his face, but a confident man who was proud on his face. And everyone in this room is faced with some type of adversity. You're different in some way. And I pledge to you today, our differences don't make us bad people. They may make us subject to some abuse, but they make us special, unique individuals. And use your differences to your advantage. We're all different. Be proud of your differences and be proud of who you are. So my P stands for persecution, ignore it. My H stands for help. When I was going through these tough times, I turned to the people in my life I could depend on, the help. I turned to God for wisdom and guidance. I turned to my parents, people that love me, people who were always there in my time of need. I turned to my teachers, I turned to my coaches for advice, for knowledge. These people are experienced, and it's not bad to ask for help. When we're in times of need, we need help. And these people are here to help us. So ask for help. My H stands for help. My D stands for dreams. Whenever I got down, whenever I was getting hurt by other people, I reverted back to my dream. My dream was to become a major league ball player. And it took me away from the hurtful times, and it put me into a positive frame of mind. We all need dreams, guys. So my D is for dreams. So to sum up, in achieving your goals, you need to be prepared. You need to be healthy, and you need to have the desire to achieve that goal. And to overcome those tough times in your life, you need to ignore persecution, you need to seek the help of your friends and loved ones, and you need to dream. So we all need to dream big, and never stop dreaming. Go Hawks.
A special thank you to you students. What an outstanding job of deportment and being courteous today during this very special Hall of Fame induction. Okay, would you all please stand now and join us in singing our alma mater.
Get started and bring on our master of ceremonies, and our jazz band is going to play the El Dorado Fight Song. And just this last spring we had Mr. Peterson, our vocal music teacher, and Mrs. Gross got together. We asked them to get together and come up with words to the fight song. For those of you who remember, the theme is the same as the UCLA fight song, and we've got words to it, got it painted up on the wall there. And our jazz band is going to play that for us. If you want to sing along, that would be great. We'll have Mr. Conley come forward. Thank you. Good evening. I am El Dorado coach Terry Donna. I am. Good looking crowd. Good looking gym. And thanks to that band. Thank them. And I want to welcome everyone to the El Dorado Wall of Fame Athletic Banquet. The first, the inaugural. Tonight we are honoring and inducting 16 legends. And I don't use that term lightly. These people have achieved legendary status. They are from athletes, coaches, and support people. Each one of you here made the right decision to come to this event. We're going to have a memorable evening. It's going to be exciting and it's going to be fun. Are you ready? Yeah. There was a little air of surprise or shock I felt when I came in. AIRF. Let me tell you a little story about an ERROR surprise and shock that I had. A couple of weeks ago, some people came to me and said, MC, Saturday night, 7 o'clock. So I got there early. I'm sitting over at Marie Callen with $1 in my hand, and the producers just think I'm running to get me. Fortunately, I've got my Saturday night Marie Callen's outfit on, and I'm here. A little background for some of you people, a little background. You're going to need some background. I'm taking nothing away from Mr. McGuire and Mr. Sosa. They've done well. Cal Ripken's had a hell of a streak. What you're looking at up here is 1971 is the last time I had a tie on. 1971. With the 7 leap years, that's 9,862 days of no tie. There's going to be an asterisk, because I don't think this tie counts. And I want some of the people out to tell me if I got these things right. I don't know. Are they supposed to be over, or are they supposed to be under the tie?
Give me an over. Under. Great, you really solved my problem. 1971. Hell, I was married in 1973. Well, grass, the significance of that. In talking about marriage, grass has been submitted to that. I'd like now to introduce my beautiful wife. 2 weeks ago, on the 12th of September, we celebrated 25 years of marriage. Marianne. She's a marital magician. Also, my 2 lovely daughters. I have 3 children. One of them is working at the yoga place tonight. The other 2 are in attendance. Some of you remember them during the years, the 85, 86 years when I coached varsity basketball. They were the ball girls that sang the Jeopardy tune when the other team was shooting free throws. Angie and Marie, stand up here. They're now 24 and 23 years old. This didn't come about by my choice. I didn't go order this. I was going to do this for a certain number of people. I was waiting maybe for the girls to get married, but this event is that big and that important to me that I'll go for this. But one gentleman had to convince me, and that's Sugar Ray Ernst. Stand up, Ray. This was his proposal. Sugar Ray. And that's the Ernst table. I will say, it's really a strange feeling to be wearing nothing of your own. The only thing that's mine are these keys, and they belong to Mr. Cortucci anyway. And the keys aren't a problem. Maybe after a tense day, I go home and I go to bed and I start tossing and turning, and it has kind of a negative effect on Marianne, but that's the only time the keys are a problem. But everything else isn't mine. At this time, we have a video presentation of the honorees tonight. And Larry Matheson is going to show a video. It'll be on the west wall over here if you want to get situated.